The sixth episode of Season 2 of Star Wars Resistance was called From Beneath. Flix takes Kaz, Tora, and Orca back to his homeworld, hoping that his family will give the Colossus some much-needed fuel from the refinery they run. But he doesn't have the best relationship with them, and he is shocked to learn that they've been drilling into the deep core of the planet. They all have to venture into the work zone to fix a drill, and there they are attacked by giant creatures who have been disturbed by the drilling. They escape with the knowledge that they can no longer drill so deep, and the Colossus receives the fuel it needs. This episode was another break from the larger story of the season, but it did ultimately solve the station's desperate need for fuel, and I thought it was pretty good. The underground dragons were a metaphor for climate change, or environmentalism, or whatever you want to call it. When our heroes first arrive on Dragor 3, Flix notes that the weather has gotten a lot worse since he last saw it. The dragon-like creatures, like the Balrog in The Lord of the Rings, are a warning against blindly and greedily using up the resources around you. Every time anyone delves too greedily or too deep, something gets unleashed. There are consequences for mistreating your planet. But of course, not everyone cares about that stuff. Flix's cousin, Flanks, ignores all the warning signs and continues to drill. More and more people see evidence of the dragon existing, and still, he won't believe that it's true until it's almost too late for him. It takes him nearly being eaten to finally come around, and at the end of the episode he basically gives a political speech about how they can no longer drill endlessly in the name of business and profit. It's a shame when a cartoon, walking, talking chicken has more sense than real-world politicians, but here we are. I also want to talk about Flix and Orca in this episode. An article in Entertainment Weekly a couple months back had a quote from executive producer Justin Ridge who said, "I think it's safe to say they're an item, absolutely. They're absolutely a gay couple and we're proud of that." I think that's great and all, and it was even implied in the show back in Season 1 when the two characters visited Flix's mother together. This episode had an opportunity to make their relationship even more concrete, and it took some steps in that direction. Orca has a moment of weakness climbing out of the work zone and doesn't want to keep moving until Tora reminds him that Flix needs his help, and he says he loves the guy before continuing the climb. He later stands up for Flix to his family, and the other Gazos comment that they can see why Flix likes Orca, saying he's a good find. There's also some stuff at the start of the episode where Flix is anxious about seeing his family again, and Orca tells him that they will love him no matter what. This all feels like movement in the right direction, but you still have to kinda read between the lines. I wish the episode had taken even a small moment with Flix and Orca after they reunited. Give them a moment to hug, or be happy to see each other, or something. I don't want to act like I'm some sort of authority on representation in Star Wars, because it's not something I've ever been on the other side of. I've always been represented in most of the stories that I grew up watching and continue to watch today, but I 100% believe that everyone watching Star Wars deserves to see themselves too. So I hope Flix and Orca continue to be developed as a couple, but what I really hope is that the two of them are just a stepping stone to something even more significant, hopefully on the big screen. So yeah, there was a decent amount to discuss for an episode about getting fuel for the Colossus, climate change, and representation. But that's it for From Beneath. Tomorrow is going to be our very first video review for The Mandalorian. I wanted to talk about that real quick because as of me writing this review, I don't know when the show will unlock. There might be a video releasing at the normal time tomorrow, or there might not be. I'll get the review out as fast as I can, I just wanted to set your expectations. Until then, let me know what you thought of this episode of Resistance in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel to keep up with Resistance reviews, Mandalorian reviews, and more, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page, where we'll be doing audio commentaries for The Mandalorian as well. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.